I'm confident in my production skills, and I know I can make something.
Are you now?
I'm very confident. All you have to be is confident so people know that you know what you think you know that you know what you're doing. So that's what I'm gonna be right now. I'm gonna be confident in what I'm doing because I know I have no idea what I'm doing, but you don't know that.
Okay. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Zach. If you're new around here, today I brought a special guest on this video. This is Michaela. This is my sister, who y'all have probably seen in previous videos. I brought her on the show today because I have a special challenge planned. I wanted to go ahead and stick a beginner producer, which she is a beginner producer. She's actually never produced a song in her life. She's only like maybe comp vocals and quantized vocals, and that's about it. But I wanted to stick a beginner producer and put them in a nice studio setup with Logic, fancy studio monitors, nice synth plugins that cost like several $100s, and see what they can make out of it. And that's kind of what I wanted to test out with her. And then me, someone who's been producing for over 4 years now, I wanted to stick myself in Garageband and see what I can make out of that. I thought a really good way to test this out would be to choose a sample from Splice that we both liked, and we're gonna produce around that exact same sample, and we're just gonna see who comes up with the better beat in the end. And I'm actually curious to see what she'll do because, like I said, she's never made a song. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that sample for you guys right now. All right, so here is the sample. Cool, so yeah, that is the sample that we're both gonna be producing around. It'll actually be interesting to see what we both come up with. So, Michaela, are you ready?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, well, let's hop on over to the Logic studio and let's see what she comes up with. All right, guys, so here we are in the studio. I just want to say a couple quick things before we get started. So since Michaela here has only ever worked with vocals, all I'm gonna do is just help her out with like the technical stuff and tell her what key she's in, just so she can get a decent sounding beat from the start. But as far as arrangement goes and the sound selection she's gonna use, that's gonna be all her. So it'll be interesting to see what she does in that department. All right, Kayla, so what do you think is gonna be your first approach for this song?
My first approach would probably be creating a new instrumental track on Logic and picking out a drum sample through Splice and just going from there and seeing what I should do next.
And what are you gonna start out with? Kicks, snares?
I have no idea. I think I'm just gonna feel it out.
Nice.
Pick like the best sounding one. Yeah.
Yeah. She get to the cash when she walk. She look like a bad when she walk. She get to the cash when she walk. She look like a bad when she walk. Girl, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Girl, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Yeah.
So I was looking at the Splice samples and I came across a song that sounded just like Dua Lipa's songs. Or I came across a Splice sample that looked... I came across a Splice sample that sounded just like one of Dua Lipa's songs. And listen to this. I forget what song that was, but it's definitely...
I don't know what it's called, but it's like, I cut you off, and then it's like, don't no.
That is unrecognizable.
So I cut you off. I don't need your love.
Yeah, but I know that's one of her songs.
Yeah.
So they're using these samples on Splice.
Or the guy who recorded it just threw that sample on Splice.
True.
Michaela, have you had lunch yet?
No.
Oh, you haven't had lunch
Oh,
yet?
wait, yes I have.
Oh, you have lunch? Okay, well, I'm gonna go eat lunch because I haven't had lunch yet. But I'm gonna come back and check on you in a bit just to see what you got.
Okay.
All right. So have fun.
Okay.
So while watching Michaela make her song, it's funny because it just brings back memories to when I first started. I mean, I started producing back in 2016. My gosh, I just remember not knowing how to do anything. Like learning how to use Logic and learning how to make music and learning how like music software works was probably like the biggest learning curve I ever experienced in my life. I just remember having to watch like so many YouTube tutorials on how to do everything. As much as I love music, I will say the software is a little complex. It's actually more than a little complex. It's actually pretty complex. As with anything, if you just keep doing it and if you keep watching tutorials, eventually you will learn how to use it. I mean, that's kind of how I'm able to make music now, which is just insane. Yeah, watching Michaela like struggle in the beginning was, it just brought back memories to when I first struggled. It's kind of like nostalgia vibes happening all over again. Alright guys, well I just finished eating. Let's go check on Michaela and see how she's doing. By the way, we got a GorillaPod, so I actually really like it because I'm able to like get pretty far with it, which is insane. So, alright, let's go check on her. How's it going?
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Wait, let me put my water down.
Where do I find the bass?
What kind of bass are you looking for?
Just a deep bass. Like an easy, like ones in most rap tracks.
Oh, like an 808?
Yeah.
In order to use an 808, you got to go to Splice because that's where I get my 808 samples from.
Splice.
And then type in 808.
Wow, that does not sound like an
Just
808.
keep going.
There we go. I like it. I have no idea where to put it to make it sound good. I just know that people like bass, so we will give you bass.
Give the people what they want.
Give the people what
supply
they
and
want.
demand, right?
Yes. Even if it doesn't sound good, it has bass in it, so that's all we need.
It'll get the people thumping, right?
Yes.
So I almost forgot. She has no idea what key she's in for the song, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell her that so that she has like an in-tune 808. It says the samples in the key of E minor.
Where does it say that?
Right there.
Oh, there it is.
So remember what I taught you about minor scales? So like,
This is.
so that's an E.
Yeah, an E.
And because it's an E minor, you want to go up 3 to find the relative major.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So the relative major is G major, which means you're playing in the scale of G. So G is all white notes except F sharp.
Okay.
Alright, Kayla, so you finished the track, right?
Yes, I did.
Nice. So what was your secret sauce to what you did at the very end?
Well, I wanted to make the track, or like the chorus part, more fuller, and I wanted to just make it more thick. So I just got the 808 sample and doubled it to make it more thicker, and I think it definitely pulls the song together, makes it more professional sounding, definitely more interesting to some listeners who love bass.
Nice. So in other words, your 808s are banging.
Yes.
And in other words, you got a banger track.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and make my beat next, and then we'll come back and listen to both of ours that we made.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Bam. Alright guys, so I am gonna be sitting in the kitchen for this one. I'm gonna be producing on Michaela's laptop. She has GarageBand on here, so yeah, I'm gonna be producing on this, as well as using some headphones. These are just Samsung headphones that I got when I got like my old Samsung S7 like many years ago, so these are pretty old. These are just like the stock headphones that come with the headphones. But you know, I've produced on headphones like these before, so I think they do the job just fine. Not mixing though. Mixing, I don't recommend mixing on these, but producing, I think is fine. Alright guys, so I went ahead and just finished the beat. As you can see, there's just like a lot of gray stuff that I really didn't even use. I was just like testing out loops and just other sounds that I thought could fit in the project, but obviously didn't work. But I did add a lot of stuff that did work. Okay, so I did keep the original piano. That's like the original piano part. And I just layered it with a pad. It's like a pad in there. It just gives like the piano more depth. What else is in here? Oh yeah, so there's the 808 pattern with the drums. There's the so this is just another clap right here. And that's like hats, and then it's just layered on top of like the drum loop. What else we got here? We got a shaker, and then a tambourine in like the chorus section. So I think that's actually all the drums. Quite sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got some like effects here going on. So aside from just adding drums, I also did add melodies, like counter melodies to the original vocal sample, just to fill it out more. I think this is one, yeah. So yeah, these are all just playing off each other. And so this is just a string sample. I'm not quite sure why it's called Antarctic Sun. I'll just put string. It's just like a cello playing 2 octaves. Super basic, just whole notes, hitting that E, because it's the song's in the key of E minor, so that's what that's holding. And that's just to like add more depth in the mix. And then the other thing I did was I just took this original vocal sample and lowered it down an octave in the chorus just to give it even more meat. This is what that sounds like. So it's actually turned down pretty low in the mix. It's just to like give the vocals even more depth. So you might be able to tell the difference here. Sounds a lot thicker, which is great for the chorus section. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I added. And all these sounds were found in GarageBand. I found drum samples using the loop library in GarageBand. I mean, obviously, as you can tell, we don't have everything downloaded on this computer, but I was able to find some. If we didn't use it there, I went to Electronic Drum Kit and chose Trapdoor because that was like like the most sounding hip hop drums I could possibly find. All right guys, well now that the beat is pretty much finished, I think I'm gonna call over Michaela and then we'll have a sit down and listen to both of our songs and see what we came up with. All right guys, well we are back and it is now time to listen to both of our songs. First things first, I'm gonna play yours first.
Okay.
All right. So this is Michaela's beat.
Heavy on the bass.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you need to throw in like a drum loop and like an 808. That's like some good basics to know for like a rap beat anyways.
I feel like I learned a lot.
Yeah, go ahead and like share your experience, like your thought process and like how it was working in Logic and like making your first beat.
It was very hard and stressful at first. I spent 3 hours making that one loop.
Loops don't need to be made, you just drag and drop.
I spent 3 hours picking out a good loop and he fixed it because I didn't know how to make the loop fit right. So he had to go in there and like do all the technical stuff to like make it fit. But it still took me 3 hours to do all that.
Yeah, no,
I don't know why, but it took me 3 hours to find that loop beat and make that bass pattern.
I mean, sometimes that's just the process. Like a lot of the times you're just like testing out samples to see what works in a track.
Yeah, it's very time consuming trying to find the correct sound.
Yeah. And
you have to guess based on like your hearing, like if it sounds right or not.
All right, so next I'm gonna go ahead and play mine. A couple things before I play it. I just wanna say that I didn't know how different GarageBand is compared to Logic. Like, I thought, oh, okay, they're both made by Apple. Logic is just the fancier version of GarageBand. So like, how much different could it be? But when I first got in GarageBand, I literally didn't know how to find like a reverb or like a compressor to throw that on. Like, I didn't even know how to find the EQ. I didn't know where the master track was. Like, it was all in different places. So I found that to be like really weird in GarageBand. Like, I was not expecting it to be like that different compared to Logic. So yeah, like out of the entire time it took me to make this song, I probably spent like an hour just like Googling stuff. But yeah, okay, so now I'm gonna play the beat. Nice. Mind you, we didn't really do any mixing or mastering to our songs, so like it's just like the raw thing. I think we just barely balanced out levels, so I'm sorry if the mix is pretty bad. But I mean, yeah, it still sounds like not bad. I think it's really cool how like if you have a good song it's gonna sound good. Really, if it's like, it should sound good before it's mixed and mastered. Like a mix and master will not make a record. It was definitely like a little hard to make it just because like I'm used to producing off of a Midi keyboard. I also do find it a little hard not having access to Splice. If you didn't know, Splice has like amazing drum samples, so like I always recommend, you know, producers to use it. Like I always use it just because you can find really good drum samples really quickly. And in GarageBand, like all I had was like the Apple loops, which we didn't even have all of them downloaded. You can find good stuff. Like I was able to find usable stuff, but obviously with Splice, you just have a lot more things to choose from. But yeah, like I didn't help her out with arrangement or anything like that. Like all I said was I was just gonna help her out with the technical side of things, which I did. But as far as like instrumentation and arrangement, that was gonna be all her. And I mean, she did fairly decent job. She had an intro and she knew to like bring in the bass with the drums, which is like something.
I knew the basics.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video and I hope y'all enjoyed listening to both of the beats that we made. And if you enjoyed watching this, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button because it really helps out the channel. Yeah, stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching, guys. See y'all in the next one.
I have a question.
Yeah?
So is an 808 the same thing as bass?
I mean, kinda, yeah.
Or is bass the same thing as an 808?